spinning ball space monkey religion?
I am the only person in human history that has ever proven Earth's rotation.
Radius Dominus Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus Arwijn.
It's just a complete fairy tale.
Oh.
Radius Dominus Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus Arwijn.
And then you would see that your spinning ball is a hoax.
I actually think of myself as a very complicated rock. I am made of things like iron, copper, and manganese. When you sit down on a mountainside and you're there with a rock, those are your cousins too.
Oh my God.
But his theory, general relativity, which explains gravity as the curvature of space-time, is incomplete. We know it can't be right because it's inconsistent with itself.
Oh boy.
Einstein is my bitch. Yep.
If I was to do it, I would use a water level to first establish a horizontal. Then I would measure everything against that horizontal. You can't do that because your water is curved. So I'm asking you, how do you first establish this horizontal?
George, right the hand is just proving you're a liar. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I really can't think of anything major that has been a surprise. I wouldn't call anything a surprise, really. Just excuses.
Always an excuse as to why NASA falls short.
Oh my goodness.
The thing is...
Because in truth, something as important and fundamental as mass was never really defined properly in the first place. Math had a go at defining mass, but only relative to other masses. There was no real attempt to come up with a firm understanding, a derivation almost, as to what mass is.
Bullshit.
Another thing that is a complete and total lie.
Either way,
I know, guys, I know. Hey, when you find something that's controversial, you can expect everybody to try to deny it. And you know why? It makes them feel important, the people who are denying. Because they feel stupid for missing it for so long. And they can't think of themselves as ignorant or foolish, so they try to shame the person who finds the new thing.
If the atmosphere moves with the Earth, that would necessitate that the atmosphere goes faster and faster the more you increase in altitude. Now, great, there is no force that would cause things to increase in velocity as they increase in altitude, because he's asserting that as a hot air balloon or a helicopter or a drone, an insect, smoke from a volcano, as it goes up in the air, it's traveling faster and faster to maintain its tangential vector above the Earth. Now, that is crazy, because that's not how fluid dynamics work. But two, that's not even what mainstream science teaches. So we really could move on from this.
Oh my God.
We're doing maintenance all the time on the International Space Station now. The next destination for NASA, thinking further out, is Mars.
We don't know how to do that yet. We don't know how to slow ourselves down that fast. We really, this is a big challenge. Can we use the Martian atmosphere or the Martian surface to actually start mining water or other materials that we might want to use?
Bullshitting.
You straw man a model approximately a dozen times, which is a hat trick fallacy. It's a straw man, then you're begging the question, and you're also doing a reification fallacy because it's not empirical evidence, it's not science, it's a model. So, reification fallacy, begging the question, and a straw man, hat trick fallacy all in one. You are like the Wayne Gretzky of proving Earth is a globe, Arwijn. You also said, would the sun be out all day on a flat Earth? Now, apparently you don't understand. Sometimes the sun is out all day in the north. Now, it disappears due to perspective, angular resolution, resolution limits, atmospheric magnification, disappears bottom first because that's how things disappear on a flat surface. But if you increase in altitude, the sun and the moon, which I've done this observation myself on my channel, they disappear into small dots above the horizon. So that would not work on a heliocentric model with the sun and moon being the size and the distance that they are. No, you guys assert that the sun and moon setting is proof that we're on a spinning ball, but they don't even intersect the marine horizon. I've also done a test myself. Stars do not intersect the marine horizon. So another test I've done is the green flash. I've observed the sun setting where the top of the sun turns green for a moment. Now, if the sun was going below the horizon, the red, orange, yellow color spectrum inverts, similar to the prism on the front of the Pink Floyd album. The red, the orange, the yellow are above the green, the purple, and the blue. But when the light is coming from above the prism, the green is above the red, orange, yellow spectrum. I've also taken real video footage of stars that I can show you. Also, hundreds of star trails and just numerous observations. Couldn't find anything of the sort on Orange's channel. I don't even know why he's here debating this. I don't think he's qualified. But just so you guys know, science has been hijacked. Ever since we were little kids, they taught us science is an empirical method. When we do science, we prove things. The very next day, you walk into school and they say, look, you're on a spinning tilted ball in space with a molten iron core hotter than the surface of the sun, and you're moving 20 million miles a day through the galaxy. Because it's science, right? And that's what we're all taught as little kids. The problem is that that's been hijacked. Okay, science has been hijacked. It is an empirical method for proving the cause of an effect, but there is no science to support the heliocentric model.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Could the atmosphere even exist without a physical container, guys? So you have an infinite vacuum of space next to our pressurized atmosphere. This is a violation of entropy. It's a violation of second law of thermodynamics. It's like asking, can a tire rim have air pressure around it without a tire?
Ridiculous.
That's certainly something that eventually, if you say people are going to go and live there for long term. Mars, it's a place where you can think, all right, we can establish a permanent human presence. We can live on Mars. We can have scientific careers on Mars.
In the 7 years-ish that they've been there, could have been done in a week if you had had a human on the surface.
It's so stupid.
Spinning ball space monkey religion. Radius Dominus Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus Arum.
We're working on advanced technologies that will make nuclear thermal propulsion a reality.
Radius Dominus Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus Arum.
We just flew a mission, we just terminated it, called Laddie, that flew the first laser communication system from the moon, and we communicated back from the moon at 680 megabits per second.
Really? How about equivocation? Is that one you've come across before?
Yeah, an equivocation fallacy is where you've got multiple definitions for something that are being used in the same instance. So at the moment, the equivocation fallacy that we get is where people will say the word mass, and they're trying to describe it when they're not just in loose colloquial terms, but they're trying to define it in something scientific. And when you're doing that, you've got to be very specific about what the definition of a word is. And with mass, you ask your opponent to define what it means, and they'll either give you the definition of inertia or they'll give you the definition of mole. And the assertion that you have scientific validity when you have not adhered to the scientific method would be pseudoscience. That would be a slightly looming, non-standard refraction hyena holographic projection of a clock from behind the reified edge of the sphere based on an R value and a begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking curve calculator turned off, which seems to be there, into a clock which is not actually there. science definitely does prove things. It proves or disproves a scientific prediction, otherwise known as a hypothesis. Understanding from us as flat earthers that science is on our side is going to be the difference between people reifying globes, models into existence, and people recognising the nature of their reality. Science and its method is not on the side of the globe.
So if you want to calculate something on a sphere, you need to take that fifth postulate and throw it out the window. Replace it with things like parallel lines can intersect, parallel lines can intersect, the internal angles of a triangle can equal more than 180. Straight lines can curve. Straight lines can curve. Level can be curved. Level can be curved because level means the height above a certain object, and if two heights above a globe are 10 meters above that height, no matter how far apart they are, that line that is connected is straight and level to the ground underneath it. Okay, so just to say that straight lines can't curve, therefore the Earth is flat, is fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. You utter moron!
You scared him off. A mission called Rosetta will drop a probe onto a comet. You utter moron!
The Earth is flat.
Either way,
that's the thing he's trying to prove is the cause. In this case, gravity. He's actually moving it further away. That's his independent variable. It's not gravity. He doesn't have proof of gravity. There is no science for gravity. No one will come on here and prove scientific evidence of gravity. There isn't any. Simple as that.
Oh my god. In nature, high gas pressure always moves to low gas pressure. It's the quintessential tenet of the entropy laws, i.e. the second law of thermodynamics. Duh. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Radius Dominus, Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus Arwijn. Radius Dominus, Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus Arwijn. Radius Dominus, Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus Arwijn.